Hello friends, welcome to my chemistry class. I am V. Ragasuma. In this session, I am going to explain about the metal carbonyls. So this is the second session which I am taking for the metal carbonyls. Previous session I have explained you the what are metal carbonyls, introduction was given, how the bonding nature is there between the metal and the carbon monoxide ligand, and what is EAN, what is the classification of the metal carbonyls was explained. Now, in this session, I'm going to explain you about the detailed calculation of the EAN for the metal carbonyl compounds. Now, I'm going to explain you about the hybridization, the preparation, and structures also. So, what are metal carbonyls? Metal carbonyls are the complex compounds where metal is bonded to the carbon monoxide ligand with the coordinate covalent bond. Such type of compounds are called as the metal carbonyl compounds. Now, what is EAN? What are the examples, applications of the EAN? We'll see by PowerPoint presentation. Okay, so what is EAN? Effective atomic number. It was proposed by Sidgwick. The metal carbonyls are stable when the central metal atom gets the electrons, which is equal to the nearest inert gas configurations atomic number. That is, inert gas configurations, your atomic numbers are 18, 36, 54, 86. So these are the atomic numbers of the inert gas configurations. Okay, argon 18, 36 krypton, 54 xenon, and radon 86. So once if you get this type of atomic number, inert gas atomic number, then our metal carbonyl is stable. So the sum of the electrons on the metal plus the electrons donated by the ligands is known as EAN. Sum of the electrons is nothing but atomic number. So EAN is equal to Z plus 2 into number of carbon monoxide groups or ligands. So Z is the atomic number, the sum of the electrons of the metal. Okay, and electrons donated by the ligands. So that each ligand will be donating 2 electrons. So 2 into number of CO groups. So if it equals to 36, 54, 86, then the EAN is said to be obeyed. And why you're calling this one as 18 electron rule? So 18 electron rule, because the outermost shell, if it has NS2, N-1, D10 and NP6 configuration in the outermost valence shell, that is valence shell, therefore it is 18 electrons in the valence shell. Okay, yes it is 2, D it is 10 and P it is 6. So total you are having 18. Outermost configuration will be having NS2, N-1, D10 and NP6 with 18 electron, then that is the valence, 18 electrons then in the valence shell, then that is the 18 electron rule. Now let us see some of the applications. So EAN, I have told you the formula Z plus 2 into number of CO groups. Now let us take nickel tetracarbonate. Nickel atomic number is 28. Now number of CO groups or the ligands are 4. So each ligand or the carbon monoxide will give 2 electrons. So atomic number plus 2 into 4, it is equal to 8. 28 plus 8, it is equal to 36. That is the atomic number of the inert gas krypton. So therefore nickel tetracarbonyl is stable. It has achieved the EAN. The central metal atom EAN, it is equal to nearest inert gas configuration. It's nearest. 28 nearest, it is 36. Now let us see the iron pentacarbonyl. In this carbonyl, EAN is equal to atomic number of the iron, that is 26, plus number of ligands into 2. 5 into 2, number of carbon monoxides or the ligands, one and the same in metal carbonyls. So 5 into 2 is 10. 26 plus 10, 36. It is equal to krypton. Now let us go for the metal carbonyls with even EAN and odd EAN. So with even EAN, you'll be getting exact inert gas atomic number. Chromium hexacarbonyl will take. Chromium, it is 24. Number of carbonyls are 2 into 6. 6 number of carbonyls into each carbonyl will be giving 2 electrons. So 24 plus 2 into 6, it is equal to 12. 24 plus 12 is equal to 36. It is krypton's atomic number. Inert gas krypton's atomic number. Stable atomic number. So stable carbonyl. Now molybdenum hexacarbonyl will take. Molybdenum, it is 42 plus 2 into number of carbon monoxides. 2 into number of carbon monoxide ligands, that is 6. So 42 plus 6 into 2, 12, it is equal to 54. That is a xenon atomic number, inert gas xenon's atomic number. So this carbonyl is also stable. Its effective atomic number is equal to inert gas atomic number, xenon. So it is a stable carbonyl. Let us take the case of ruthenium pentacarbonyl. Ruthenium, it is 44 plus 2 into 5, 10. 44 plus 10, you'll be getting 54. Okay, ruthenium atomic number 44, number of carbonyls 5, 5 into 2, each carbonyl is giving 2 electrons. So it is 44 plus 10 equal to 54 xenon configuration. Next, let us see tungsten hexacarbonyl. In this, tungsten atomic number is 74. Carbonyls are 6, ligand carbonyls are 6, 6 into 2, 12, 74 plus 12, it is 86. Radon configuration. Now we'll see osmium pentacarbonyl. So osmium, it is 76, 5 into 2, 10, 76 plus 10, it is equal to 86. Okay, so osmium atomic number of carbonyls are 5, 5 into 2, 10. It is 86 atomic number. Okay, so therefore, almost all these mononuclear carbonyls are having the stable configuration because they have achieved effective atomic number, which is equal to the nearest inert gas configuration. Now let us see the metal carbonyls with odd EAN. Vanadium hexacarbonyl will take. Vanadium 23, carbon monoxides are 6, 6 into 2, 12, 23 plus 12, 35. So odd EAN, but nearest to the inert gas atomic number. So it is nearest to 36 krypton. So therefore even this is stable, but it is paramagnetic in nature. It is having odd electron. Therefore it is paramagnetic in nature. Now let us take the case of manganese pentacarbonyl. Manganese atomic number 25. Carbon monoxides are 5. 5 into 2, 10. 25 plus 10, 35. Okay, so even this is a stable one. 35 almost equal nearing to 36 krypton configuration. So therefore even this is a stable configuration but paramagnetic in nature due to odd electron. Now let us go for the cobalt tetracarbonyl compound. In this cobalt, it is having 27, its atomic number, plus 4 into 2, 8 electrons, 27 plus 8 is equal to 35. So total number of electrons are 35. 35 electrons, which is almost equal to the nearest inert gas configuration, that is krypton's atomic number. Okay, so therefore these are all stable. Even these three, although they're having odd EAN, they are almost equal to the inert gas atomic number, krypton. Therefore these are stable, but these are having here 35 odd electron is there. Therefore these are paramagnetic in nature. Now let us go for the next one, polynuclear carbonyls. Dimanganese carbon monoxide molecule will see, and dicobalt octa carbonyl complex will see. Decacarbonyl compound here, this is octa carbonyl compound. So this manganese carbonyl, in this manganese carbonyl complex, there are two central metal atoms, manganese. Okay, so each manganese, it is having 25 atomic number. It is having 25 atomic number. 25 into 2, it is equal to 50. So atomic numbers, it is 50. Electrons from 10 carbonyls, it is 2. 10 into 2, 20. 50 plus 20, 70. Now, how many metal bonds are there in the complex? Once if you revise yesterday's class, in the classification I gave you the structure, and there you can see manganese single bond manganese. One metal bond is there. One bond will give 2 electrons. So 1 bond is giving 2 electrons. So total 70 plus 2, it is 72 electrons. So there are total number of electrons by number of central metal atoms. 72 by number of central atoms 2 is equal to 36. Each manganese is having 36 atomic number inert gas configuration. Okay, so therefore this is a stable configuration. Now let us go for the other cobalt carbonyl complex. Here cobalts, there are 2. Central metal atom is cobalt. It is 2. Each cobalt, it is having atomic number of 27. 27 into 2, 54. Now electrons from 8 ligands. 8 into 2, it is equal to 8 into 2 is equal to 16. So from CO bond CO, CO bond CO, 1 into 2 is equal to 2. 1 into 2 is equal to 2. So metal bond electrons are 2, ligand electrons are 16, and atomic numbers of the metal is 54. So total it is 72. 72 by number of central metal atoms, that is 2. Cobalts are 2. Central metal atom is cobalt, it is 2. So total number of electrons by 2. It is equal to 36. Therefore, it is the inert gas configuration krypton. Okay. So this polynuclear carbons are also having the inert gas configuration, nearest inert gas configuration. You are getting sometimes 54 xenon. You are getting krypton. You are getting even the radon configuration. Let us see. Still 2 more examples. Here, okay. So diiron nona-carbonyl. Diiron nona-carbonyl complex or triiron decacarbonyl complex. So in these complexes, so this one you can call it as this iron, diiron nona-carbonyl complex, you can call it as iron enea carbonyl. Iron enea carbonyl also you can call. Here you are having 2 metals, iron metals. So 2 into atomic number of the iron is 26. It is 52. Electrons from 9 CO groups. 9 into 2, it is 18. From each Fe, you are having 2 electrons. So 52 plus 18 plus 2, you will be getting 72. EAN for iron, each iron atom. Total number of electrons by total number of central metal atoms. Total number of electrons 72. Number of central metal atoms are 2. So 70 by 2 by 2. You will be getting 36. It is equal to krypton atomic number. It is stable complex. Now let us go for the triiron decacarbonyl complex. Here you are having 3 iron atoms. Each iron, it is 26. 26 into 3, it is equal to 78. Now electrons from 12 COs. 12 into 2, will be getting 24. From iron bond, 3 into 2 is equal to 6. So here metal bonds are 3. Once if you observe the structure, next slide I am going to show you the structure. Here there are, in this complex there are 3 metal bonds, iron bonds 3. So 3 into 2, each bond is giving 2 electrons. 3 into 2, 6. So iron atoms, atomic number 26 into 3 is equal to 78, plus ligand electrons are 24, plus metal-metal bond electrons are 6. Total you are getting 108. Total number of electrons by total number of metal atoms. It is 3. 108 by 3 is 36. Therefore, 108 by 3 it is 36. Therefore, it is a inert gas configuration. Even this complex is a stable. Polynuclear complex is also stable. Okay. So we have seen the applications. We have seen the applications of the metal carbonyls EAN for the mononuclear carbons with odd EAN, with even EAN, and polynuclear carbonyls. Okay. Now let us go for the preparation and structures of some of the important carbonyls. First, we'll see nickel tetracarbonyl. Very simple. Nickel metal atom is taken and it is passed through the carbon monoxide gas at room temperature. You'll be getting nickel tetracarbonyl. Similarly, nickel cyanide, alkali solution of the nickel cyanide is taken and on passing, and similarly nickel sulfide is also taken. So nickel cyanide on passing with the carbon monoxide gas, you'll be getting nickel tetracarbonyl and cyanogen gas is formed. Similarly, nickel sulfide on passing with carbon monoxide gas, you'll be getting nickel tetracyanide. Okay, so nickel tetracarbonyl is formed in this way by passing the metal or nickel cyanide or the nickel sulfide over the carbon monoxide gas. You will be getting the nickel tetracarbonyl complex. Now let us see the properties. The properties are one and the same. Almost you'll be getting the carbon monoxide gas is released. So first reaction, directly you just heat them. It is an explosive reaction. Once if you heat the nickel tetracarbonyl at 180 to 200 degrees, you'll be getting the nickel metal is liberated with the carbon monoxide gas. Finely divided particles of the nickel is formed. At the same time, carbon monoxide gas is formed. Now we'll take the other one, nickel tetracarbonyl on reaction with the bromine. Again the same, nickel bromide is formed and the carbon monoxide gas is liberated. Similarly, nickel tetracarbonyl is taken and reacted with the sulfuric acid. You will be getting nickel sulfate, and hydrogen gas is liberated and carbon monoxide gas is liberated. So once if you see, almost the preparations, 3 preparations same, passing through the carbon monoxide gas will give you nickel tetracarbonyl. And properties also you can see the same. On reaction, on direct heating or reaction with bromine or reaction with sulfuric acid, there is liberation of the carbon monoxide gas. Okay, so this is about the preparation and properties of the nickel tetracarbonyl. Now let us go for the structure of the nickel tetracarbonyl. Nickel, it is having 28 atomic number. It's having 28 atomic number nickel atom in the free state. Its valency is 3d8 4s2 4p0. 3d8 4s2 4p0. Now this is 8. Okay, 3d8. Ground state configuration 4s2 and 4p0. Now in the excited state, when the carbonyl compounds are nearing to the nickel central metal atom, the pairing up of the electrons will take place. All the single electrons get paired up. Here, these 2 s electrons will jump into the d orbital, and the d orbital, all the electrons are paired up. Now you are having empty s orbital, 3 p orbitals. Total 1 s and 3 p orbitals undergo hybridization. 1 s 3 p's atomic orbitals of nickel metal will undergo hybridization. 4 atomic orbitals combine to give 4 hybrid orbitals. Each hybrid orbital name is sp3. They are empty. 1s 3p atomic nickel metal orbitals undergoes hybridization, and 4 atomic orbitals combine to give 4 hybrid orbitals. You know, hybridization. Same number will be formed. So 4 sp3 hybrid orbitals are formed. S with 3 p's will give sp3. Like the sp3 hybrid orbitals, you are having 4 sp3 hybrid orbitals. Each sp3 orbital is empty. Now, carbon monoxide. Yesterday's session, I have explained you. Previous session, metal carbonyls class, I have given you carbon triple bond. Oh, bonding is there. Now, the lone pair of the electrons which are in the valence shell of the carbon orbital, those 2 electrons are donated to the empty hybrid orbital of the nickel metal. Okay, carbon is having lone pair of electrons. These are donated to the hybrid orbital of the nickel, that is sp3 orbital of the nickel. Okay, this is empty orbital and this carbon is filled. Filled will bond with the empty nickel. So therefore, coordinate covalent bond is formed. It is denoted by arrow. It's a bond. This is the donor, this is the acceptor. Electrons are coming from carbon to nickel. That is why this arrow mark, it's not arrow, it is the bond, coordinate covalent bond. Similarly, 4 carbon monoxide ligands will give pair of electrons. Each pair is given to each orbital, hybrid orbital of nickel central metal atom. Therefore, the 4 orbitals, the electrons are filled up here. Okay, so here nickel, it is having 4 sp3 hybrid orbitals in tetrahedral arrangement. sp3, 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 empty hybrid orbitals. Each carbon monoxide is giving its electrons to the empty sp3 hybrid. Again, carbon monoxide, it is giving its 2 electrons from its hybrid orbital to the nickel hybrid orbital, sp3 hybrid. Like that, 4 CO3s will give 4 pair of electrons to 4 hybrid orbitals. Therefore, nickel tetrahedral structure, nickel tetracarbonyl compound with tetrahedral structure is formed. Now, let us go for the next one, iron pentacarbonyl. So, in this iron pentacarbonyl, once if you see the preparation, similar way, nickel tetracarbonyl at room temperature we have prepared. Now, this one, it requires 200 degrees of temperature, 100 to 200 degrees of temperature. So, iron metal on passing carbon monoxide gas at 200 degrees centigrade and 200 atmospheres, iron pentacarbonyl is formed. Similarly, 2 other preparations I have written, FeCl3 and Fes on passing carbon monoxide gas will form iron pentacarbonyl complexes. Now let us go for the structure. Iron, it is 26 atomic number, ground state configuration, D6, here 6 electrons are there. Now S, it is 2 electrons, P, it is 0. Okay, now pairing, now carbon monoxide is coming nearer to the central metal. So in the iron, pairing of the electron takes place. These 2 electrons jump into the d orbital. Okay, 1, 2. 1, 2 will jump here. And even this electron will pair up here. Total pairing of the electrons took place in presence of carbon monoxide ligand. Now in the iron, you are having 1 d orbital, 1 s orbital, and 3 p atomic orbitals are free. No, now these will undergo hybridization. 1 d, 1 s, and 3 p's. Total 5 atomic orbitals will combine to give 5 hybrid orbitals in the central metal atom iron. Therefore, 5 dsp3 hybrid orbitals are formed. Each hybrid orbital, it is empty. Okay, here iron is there, 5 dsp3 orbitals, trigonal pyramidal manner they are arranged, they are empty. Now carbon monoxide has approached these hybrid orbitals. Okay, so each carbon monoxide, it is giving its pair of electrons to the empty hybrid orbital. Like that, 5 carbon monoxides are giving 5 pairs of electrons to the 5 hybrid dsp3 hybrid orbitals. Okay, so now it has attained the shape. See, this is the bond. Carbon monoxide is giving electrons here. This is the donor, this is the acceptor. So this is a bond. Arrow mark is nothing but a bond, coordinate covalent bond. Okay, donor, acceptor. 5 coordinate covalent bonds are formed. iron pentacarbonyl is formed. Okay, it is diamagnetic in nature. There are no single electrons. So it is diamagnetic in nature. And it is trigonal, pyramidal in shape. Okay, nickel tetracarbonyl, iron pentacarbonyl over. Now we'll see chromium hexacarbonyl. In the chromium hexacarbonyl, chromium it is 24. Chromium it is 24. So chromium metal preparation on passing through the carbon monoxide gas at high temperature. Previously nickel tetracarbonyl, room temperature. Then medium temperature for iron pentacarbonyl. In the chromium hexacarbonyl, high temperature is required. So therefore, chromium hexacarbonyl complex is formed. Now we'll see the structure, how it is formed. Coming to the structure, the ground state configuration, it is 24. Okay, this electron has jumped here. So therefore, I have written it is actually 24. After jumping this electron here, you are getting 3d5, 4s1, 4p0. Okay, so this is the box method of representing the electronic configuration. Now, the carbon monoxide ligands are approaching chromium metal. Immediately, pairing takes place. 1, 2, 3 will get paired up to the d orbitals. Okay, 2, 2, 2, 2 electrons have got paired. So now how many empty orbitals are there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. How many empty orbitals? 6 empty atomic orbitals are there. These will undergo hybridization and 6 d2sp3 hybrid orbitals are formed. 6 atomic orbitals, d, 2 d orbitals, 1 s and 3 p's will undergo hybridization in the chromium central metal atom and 6 hybrid orbitals are formed. 6 hybrid orbitals are formed. Each hybrid orbital name is d2sp3. Okay, so 6 d2sp3 hybrid orbitals are arranged around the central metal atom, chromium. Okay, almost all d2sp3 hybrid orbitals are empty. Now, these are the d2sp3 hybrid orbitals. Now, carbon monoxide ligand approaches and it donates its pair of electrons to the empty hybrid orbital. 6 carbon monoxide ligands will donate the pair of electrons, 6 pairs of electrons, to the 6 hybrid orbitals of chromium. Okay. And therefore, octahedral arrangement has come. Chromium, empty orbitals, 6 carbon monoxide ligands have donated the electrons. Okay, coordinate covalent bonds are formed. 6 coordinate covalent bonds are formed. Okay, so therefore octahedral arrangement, no single electrons, paired up electrons, so therefore it is diamagnetic in nature. Okay, so we have seen the mononuclear metal carbonyls, nickel tetracarbonyl, iron pentacarbonyl, chromium hexacarbonyl structures. Now we'll see the polynuclear hydrocarbons, 2 examples. So you take here iron enia carbonate, bridge type of carbonate. The preparation, directly photosensitization reaction. You just put this di-iron nona carbonyl in the here. How it is formed, you see. So iron pentacarbonyl 2 moles you take and you put it in the sun. Photosensitive reaction. Everything reacts. Di-iron nona carbonyl is formed by liberation of one CO group. Yellow crystalline compound is formed. Okay, so it is insoluble in water. Okay, almost insoluble in water, ether or benzene. On heating, it converts into the mixture of pentacarbonate, dodecacarbonate, and it is volatile with steam, but it doesn't undergo any decomposition. Now the structure you can see here. Okay. Fe2, one M bond is there. Previously we have discussed. Bridged CO groups are 3. Non-bridging CO groups are 6. 1, 2, 3, and 4, 5, 6. So the bond structure of iron enia carbonyl, it is 2 types of carbonyl groups. Okay, bridged carbonyl groups and non-bridged. Okay, so 2 types of carbonyl, 3 bridging carbonyl groups and 6 non-bridging carbonyl groups. The bridging carbonyl groups has CO bond order about 2. Okay, it's almost like the ketone carbonyl group. Each iron atom, it is having D2sp3. Previous hybridization I have explained you, it is having D2sp3. Just like iron pentacarbonyl, just like this one, chromium hexacarbonyl, it is having D2sp3 hybridization. It is having D2sp3 hybridization. 3 terminal carbonyls for each iron. Okay, 3 CO groups to each iron. Okay, so this is the structure. One metal-metal bond. Okay, this is the structure of the iron enia carbonyl. Now let us go for the next polycarbonyl compound. Okay, iron dodecacarbonyl, Fe3CO12. Fe3CO12. Here, this enia carbonyl, here Fe2CO9. On heating, it will liberate one pentacarbonyl and one enia carbonyl. Okay, so iron, you can see 3 types. One is the pentacarbonyl, one is the enia carbonyl, one is the decacarbonyl. So enia carbonyl 2 moles on heating will give pentacarbonyl as well as the dodecacarbonyl, liberating carbon monoxide. Now let us see the structure in detail. So here, X-ray analysis, Fe3 has the following configuration. You can see the structure. Okay, 3 iron atoms, 4 and 4 here, and 4 bridged. Okay. 8 plus 4, 12. 8 terminal, left and right, 4 plus 4, and 4 are bridged. Or else you can see the other structure. So the other structure is the second one. You can clearly observe in the hybridization I have explained you, in the EAN calculation I have explained you, there are 3 MM bonds, Fe bond 1, Fe bond 1, Fe bond 1. So 3 into 2, 6 we have calculated. Now bridged carbon monoxides 2. Terminal you are having 10. Okay, bridged carbon monoxides 2. Terminal 3 plus 3 plus 4. You are having 10. Okay, so non-bridging are 10, bridging are 2, MM bonds are 3. Okay, the bond here distance is 2.8 angstrom, just like a triangle, and the bond distance is 2.8 angstrom. So this is the structure of the polynuclear carbonyl compounds. So 2 I have explained. Okay, I hope everybody have understood my lecture. So last session and this session, we have discussed about the metal carbonyls, introduction, the bonding nature between M and CO, and for classification. And after classification, we have seen the hybridization between the M and CO. Then what is EAN, 18 electron rule? We have applied for the mononuclear, binuclear, and polynuclear carbonyls. And we have seen the preparations, properties along with their hybridizations. I hope everybody have understood my lecture. Thank you.